A very good afternoon to you, our viewers. You're welcome to another wonderful episode of Point Sports Extra. My name is Shegun Odunayo. I'm very sure 80% or 95% of you watching us right now living in Nigeria will be watching from home because it's public holiday. By the way, happy Salah to our Muslim brothers and sisters. But hey, the show must go on for some of us who are essential workers and must work around the clock. I have with me a first-timer, my co-anchor, my co-analyst, and my colleague here in the person of Makwa Ubanagu this afternoon. Makwa, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Nigeria. Happy Salah and happy public holiday. All
right, very quickly, let's get into the subject matter of the day. We start with front page of Point Sports Extra, the print edition, and their faces are boldly up there on the front page. 3 of them, but we've had many. In the last season that just went by, Nigerian players who did so well for their clubs, who were perfect, near perfect for their clubs, winning titles, breaking records, scoring goals, and having fun. And Alex Iwobi is one of the faces on the front page this morning. Didn't exactly win trophies, but was fantastic for his club, getting goals as an assist aplenty, getting Fulham up the ladder, going far in the FA Cup. He was having a more fantastic season than he used to do in the past, playing very well for Marco Silva's side.
Yes, I think that he actually proved his haters wrong, and Alex Iwobi is one of the people that they are heavily criticized. He's heavily criticized for certain things, his on-pitch behavior and all of that. But in this last season, he did excellently well, and let's give him his crowns.
One of these persons also include current reigning African Footballer of the Year, Ademola Lookman. Perhaps if you compare what he did this previously past season with the other season, I think you will say he did better. But still looking at his numbers over the years, he still did well this season, getting assists, scoring goals for Atalanta, his club. I think second highest goal scorer for his club behind Wetegi. Even for the Super Eagles of Nigeria, he didn't do badly. Yes. He had a good one as well.
Yes, he did actually. I think one of the issues was just season fluctuation. He had good times in the season and he also had bad times, but he also bounced back towards the end of the season, and he also proved why he should be the African best last season.
All right, he was probably the person you guys expected me to start with, but hey, the big man comes last. Victor Osimhen, without a doubt, had a very controversial summer. We didn't know where it was going to end up. At the end of the day, transfer season came and went, and he was not going anywhere. And Napoli are bringing in a Romelu Lukaku, who will be my starting number 9. In fact, we are taking the jersey number 9, the African Footballer of the Year award.
Yes, Victor Osimhen did excellent. To Europe with him, he easily won him. Even can confidently. Wow. Yes, he may not, but he should be in that conversation, because of the stats, and he has proved himself why he is a top 9 and why he is a top world-class player. The rumors are flying here and there on his next move, but we know that Osimhen has that quality, and he has proved it both at national level and both at club level.
Now, still sticking on this subject, with this subject matter, many persons feel are not giving him enough praise for what he has done this time around, because Turkey is not the top 5 European leagues, and perhaps that's why nobody is even looking at him the way they should be looking at him. And they feel you are in a club, you are in a place where people who have finished their careers in Europe come to enjoy, like another low-key Saudi. What's your feeling about this?
Yeah, that's actually one angle, but if you also look at the general market value, we have the Portuguese league and Gyökeres, his own achievements there. We also have, other leagues that players also did well. We can't just rate them low because of they are not in the top 5 league. But you know, he still has a lot to prove and he still has a lot to do. But let's give him his flowers, please. Let's give him his flowers.
All right, moving to another section of the front page of Point Sports Extra. Funny enough, we are still sticking with the same man. Yesterday, Victor Osimhen rejected the heavy transfer offer from Saudi Arabia. Very quickly, Marco, when this matter came up a couple of months ago, people are happy that it looked like Victor Osimhen was going to Saudi Arabia. A section of persons were happy. Let me not say, I mean, it's not like a general thing. If na your brother was the popular slang then. If na your brother, you know. But somehow there's no if na your brother now in June. But somehow Victor Osimhen has said a complete no after 5 bids. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They kept increasing the money, almost close to €1 million. About 750 or almost 800 that they said they would pay him, and he has said no to money. He wants to stay in Europe. How does this sound? The monetary value, all values involved.
Okay, so as of last week, I was talking to my friend and I told him that he would take this offer. There is no way, there's no way he's not going to take this offer. But yesterday he proved me wrong, and I mean, we have to also look at things from his own point of view and his own ambition, his own drive. We know that Victor Osimhen is very passionate. We know that he has ambitions, and we know the quality he has. And I mean, we all know that the Saudi League, although they are developing, they still have a long way to go, and it will not suit his career. So I think he has made a big decision for his career. I cannot say if it's the right call or the wrong call, but what I can say is that he has where he's going. He knows where he's going. And I think Europe, top big teams should actually look into this thing and get this guy, you know, if they are looking to, you know,
we are now marketing Victor Osimhen.
We are, because he's a Naija boy, and the truth is, we've seen he has proved himself. He has proved himself. Personally, I won't say I'm marketing him. The stats are there, you know, the fact is there. So everything that this guy has done in the last 2-3 seasons show a little bit of consistency, show why he's top, both for the Super Eagles and both for, you know, his club football. So I think he has made a good decision, and he has made a big decision. Yeah.
All right, sticking with the front page, but this time away from football, the biggest story in the world of sports at the moment. Yesterday, you had to be there. Carlos Alcaraz defeating Yannick Sinner in perhaps the biggest tennis final ever in history. He lost the first 2 sets. I'm talking about Alcaraz, and it looked like it was a done deal. And he fought back, and he fought back, and he fought back, winning 3 sets after losing the first 2 sets. Somebody said she had used all the vamos that she had. You know, of course, you know, Spanish vamos means let's go. I mean, that was said yesterday. Quick one, because it's on the front page, of course, we are still in the front page section. One of the biggest, if not the biggest comebacks in the history of tennis. You lose the first 2 sets where you are mentally down, but somehow you come back 1, 2, 3. Big deal, big deal.
Yes, I think they did well. She did well, and it's very important for, you know, you to show your comeback spirit. It's very, very important. So it was a good one. I enjoyed it, and you know, we all have to, you know, enjoy what's next.
All right, still sticking with the front page now. Florian Wirtz had been at the center of a big transfer matter so far this transfer season. Bayer Leverkusen will be asking Liverpool to pay 150 million euros, 120, and they've been going back and forth. And Liverpool is saying, we have only one more bid left in us. If you don't take it, you're probably going to go. What's your opinion?
He is a good player. He is definitely.
But is it worth 150 million euros?
That I can't say. That I can't say. But one thing I've noticed about Liverpool's pattern is that usually, it's my own opinion, but I know that usually when they go for a player, in most cases, that player turns out to be good for them, at least in Klopp's era. So for them to, you know, identify this person as someone that they need, and you know they are actually going for him with big money like this, probably, just probably, he's likely, or he's able to meet up with that expectation. He's able to meet up. So
21.
yeah, I think yes, he has a long way to go. But for his team, Leverkusen, he has done, at least he has had a very good season.
Everybody's leaving Leverkusen this time around.
Well,
the manager has gone, their captain has gone. You know, everybody was looting Leverkusen. Even our brother, they said he's on the move very soon.
Yes. I think it's one of those things that happen to teams like that, you know, where they win the league and, you know, they begin to sell out their best players. It's just one of those things, you know. So I think if he moves, he definitely has to prove himself for that money. And the pressure will be on, because I trust the English media. They will be after him.
They'll turn it on like gas.
Yes, they will be after him.
Okay, still sticking with the front page. Another deal that almost everybody is talking about right now, Zubimendi, going to Arsenal, going to Madrid, Zubimendi. Now, it's a big battle for Zubimendi. Of course, he was playing yesterday, and reports had it that the president of Real Madrid was also going to be in the stands to watch him personally and have his opinion about him. And guess what? He had a great game, if you ask me, against Portugal, even though they lost. But Zubimendi, should he go to Arsenal? Should he go stay in Spain? Will they be paying for him in Spain or what?
Well, I think he has a big decision to make. You know, Arsenal is one of those teams that they've been getting in some good signings these days, and Arsenal is proving to be a top team, back to be a top team, you know, and see their position, although they missed out on trophy, but you know, there's always hope in the beginning of the season for them. So he has a big decision to make, and like I said earlier, the media will be on him to prove his worth, and we'll also be watching out for that.
All right, that'll be all for us from the front page this morning. But hey, it's still a bumper package for you. Let's quickly move into the myth of the show now and tell you about the final that happened yesterday. Some persons have said it's not a final, it's just a group of friendly games. And somebody said when it's not favoring you, that's what you will say. If you had won it, you will say it's a final. But hey, Cristiano Ronaldo, the man that never ever leaves the party, at 40, taking over and taking charge. Before the final yesterday, it was more of a Lamine Yamal versus Cristiano Ronaldo, the the new warlord and the old war horse yesterday. But at the end of the day, I think experience did count, because not only did the old war horse get to leave the pitch celebrating, the young lord left while the old warlord was celebrating. You could see Lamine Yamal walking away and taking off his medal while the Portuguese team was celebrating. His teammates were there on the pitch, but he decided to walk away, and of course that video has caused so much controversy. Some have tagged him the sports brat, some are saying they are expecting him to be like Ansu Fati very soon, and some persons are saying indeed he knows his mettle, he knows his worth, and he's the next Lionel Messi. Your opinion, Makwa?
I'll start with Ronaldo winning the trophy. I think Ronaldo is one of those players that he knows what it is to lose and he knows what it is to win. And that's the game of football. You win some, you lose some. And I mean, everybody wants to be on the winning side, but part of the experience is to also be on both sides and know what it feels, because football is just more than, you know, winning trophies. There's also passion, there's emotions involved in it. So I think emotions played so much yesterday. Ronaldo came, you know, after his reaction, he also said that we should leave Yamal.
Yeah, that is a young boy.
We should leave him. He's just 17.
Yeah.
And the truth is, if you look at if you look at it from that angle, he's just 17. A lot of things are, you know, going on through his mind. He may have wanted to win that one, you know, to taste what it feels like to beat a team that, you know, the GOAT is inside. So he was unfortunate yesterday, although he had quite a good performance.
And some bad ones too.
Kudos to
because it was not on the level it used to be.
Yes,
I mean it's coming to Mendes. Some persons are saying he deserves a shout for the Ballon d'Or. Not saying he should win it, but he should probably be in the top 10 because so far this season he kept Salah quiet. He has kept everybody he has played against quiet. played the games quiet, kept the big English teams quiet, kept all the big boys quiet, and then he saw Lamine Yamal that has had a terrific season, and he kept him quiet. Not only that, he scored, got player of the tournament for the UEFA Nations League, and won the Champions League with Paris Saint-Germain, played a very great part in the final. He played 72 minutes. Why not? Definitely,
he should be. And if the Ballon d'Or is actually very serious about taking the record of that season, he should be mentioned in that position. He may not win it, but we should see him in the conversations. Back to Yamal, I think his reaction wasn't necessary, but we may just have to overlook that, as, maybe a childish reaction. But he has a long way to go. He has more victories to gain, and he has more losses to gain. It's part of the football,
the way football is.
Yes, it's
like biscuits. You never know where to really crack. And yesterday it didn't look like so cracking in the way of Portugal, because like in the semi-finals they were trailing, they came back, they trailed again, they came back again, and it looked like Spain was actually ready to inflict pain on Portugal with the way they were playing and their strategy and all of that, up until it came down to penalties. Do you personally think Alvaro Morata should have been involved in the penalty discussion?
Thank you so much for that question. Sincerely, watching the match, once I saw him step up, I knew something was going to happen. No, this is no shade to Alvaro Morata, but I don't like when he keeps putting himself in banter positions. Alvaro Morata has faced a lot of criticisms over the years in Chelsea, in Real Madrid. He has faced a lot of
almost everywhere he goes.
Yes, so I feel like he should have just left that. He should have left it for the other players to take, and it was a big call. Although it's also part of football where you also want to be there for your team. And we don't know the conversations the Spanish team had. Maybe nobody wanted.
He came on and he wore the band.
Yes, he's their captain.
But he doesn't start these days.
Yes.
So he probably wanted to make a senior man the team.
Be there for the team. So it was a big call from him. And when you've made up your mind that you want to put yourself in such a position, just try your best. Try your best, because nobody's going to hear that he tried.
Then they can't try.
Yes. All they are going to know is that
he failed.
He missed.
Is his name people now we don't remember people that scored yesterday.
Yes, actually.
We just say, that one that Morata. Good.
That's just how it is.
I think kudos must be given to the Portuguese goalkeeper. At the Euros, he broke a record. The first goalkeeper to save 3 penalties at the Euros, and there was yesterday again. He was just so confident that out of 5, at least one. It was so the way he was doing it. Even there was one he almost saved. Who played that penalty? He almost saved yesterday. He went for it. Unfortunately, the ball scored, and he just knew. By and by, as somebody I know used to say, I'll save one, and he stepped up. Let's talk about his confidence playing in Wolves, but he has the confidence of a Barcelona or Real Madrid player.
Yes, he did exceptionally well in the final. I think it's one thing to, the pressure of being the keeper at that particular moment, and for someone that doesn't play in one of the top teams in Europe, he showed a lot of confidence there. He showed a lot of confidence for his national team, and stepping up, making himself big and trying to make sure that he gets at least one penalty. He proved himself, and he got his team something too.
All right, nobody in the world would have ever thought that the man who said I always win trophies in my second season and indeed got that trophy will get sacked a couple of days after. I don't think anybody in the world will have thought so. But we are not Daniel Levy. We don't live in his world. We are in this world, and Daniel Levy lives here. Very different man. Makwa, very quickly, why did Angel Postecoglou end up as one of the managers to ever get sacked? Not Ruben Amorim, not Enzo Maresca. I mean, no manager is getting sacked. Guys who had a woeful season are not getting sacked. I mean, I'm talking about top managers now. Yes. Not Pep Guardiola, who for the first time got nothing, even struggled to make top 5. Not top 4, but top 5 this time around.
Yeah.
Guess what? It's the man who was doing great things and winning trophies for the first time in 2008 for his club that got sacked.
I think Tottenham had a big call to make, and I don't know if they got it right or if they got it wrong, because there are two sides of it. In the Premier League, they did woefully.
Yeah.
They did woefully, and you know, one thing that kept Tottenham going was their progress in the Europa League. And I mean, the Europa League is next after the Champions League, so it's actually a major European.
And they qualified for the Champions League.
Yes, they qualified, having, you know, and I think the manager would have just been looking to, you know, re-strategize for a new season based on, you know, what they were able to salvage from the last season. And he may have had this plan, he may have put up a good proposal to the management that they should give him more time. But it's also a big decision to make from the management angle of Tottenham, and they would have looked at it that, can we go a whole season, you know,
with this guy?
Can we go a whole season with this guy? Now that we are in the Champions League, now that it's like a fresh start, nobody will remember that we were 17th last season. You know, we are also in the Champions League, and we have a
making
lot.
a hell of money now.
They have a lot to fight for. They have a lot to fight for, and you know, he can also bring in the management can also bring in money, get one or two good signings, you know, that can give them something to fight for in the new season. Can they depend on this man, you know, who had a full season and couldn't salvage anything tangible in the Premier League? You know.
But he got them.
Yes, he got them the European.
He got them the first trophy in 2008.
Yes,
he got them. All of the monies that he'll be getting now for Chelsea won the Europa League. The Europa Conference League, but got, I think, just 10 million higher than all of this club now from is it not Croatia? Is it Croatia? Yeah. That got beaten and battered and
8-0, yes.
8-0 and all of that. But because they were in the Champions League, they got just 10 million less than a team who was in the 3rd tier. So for them, they are making a hell of money. They will probably even go higher than that. So,
yes, well, like I said, it's a big decision.
He met his KPIs.
It's a big decision. It's a big decision to make, and because the season is starting afresh and there is more to fight for now.
What will they be fighting for this season? The Premiership.
Premier League, I mean, it's open to anybody, even
Spurs,
even the last team too, maybe looking towards getting, you know, Leicester just woke up one morning, season.
How many Leicesters do we have? All right, very quickly, Thomas Frank is most likely coming on, the manager of Brentford, and we all know how he came on. He was actually the assistant manager. His manager got fired. He became acting. From acting, they gave him the job. He qualified them from the Championship into the Premiership. Their first game in the Premier League was against Arsenal. Guess what? He slaughtered Arsenal, and that was when he became very famous. Who is this relegation team that don't defeat Arsenal just like that? That was the arrival of Ivan Toney. They became really popular. Brian Mbeumo. There's now, of course, Kevin Shade, Yoran Wissa. Our own Frank, what's his name? Frank Onyeka used to be with them before he went on loan to Germany. But I don't know if he's coming back. Probably they will sell him this time around. You know, they became really big. David Raya, they sold David Raya over to Arsenal. I mean, they were a big club in 3 years, but now he's going to be going to Spurs. It looks like he's going to be going to Spurs. It's not confirmed, but
yes,
the deal looks almost done. But let's not forget that this also happened to the Nottingham manager, the current Nottingham Forest manager, where he was having a good time with Wolves, Nuno Espirito Santo, up until he left Wolves and went to Spurs. And he looked like a manager that did not even understand what he was doing. And he got fired. Even top Jose Mourinho moved to Spurs and was looking like a baby. Even Antonio Conte was a top manager, moved to Spurs. And is this place cost? Now it looks like Thomas Frank is going there. Is he going to experience what these guys have faced, or he has a magic he's going to unleash on us?
Okay, so there are so many factors actually, and I think I'll start with the fact that particular bar has been broken. You know, so Tottenham, they have their European trophy now.
So Postecoglou has broken the juju.
Yes, he has broken it. So I think the management now will be looking at things from a fresh angle. That there's something to fight for now. We are now back
top
yes,
club.
we are back to having the bragging right to say we are a top 6 team. So I think the manager, the incoming manager, Thomas Frank, he has a lot to prove. But like you said, Tottenham is one team that a lot of people have tried and they have failed. Even look at this Nuno that you talked about. He did almost the impossible for Nottingham Forest. Almost, just on the last day he missed out.
Small club, I guess.
As in, that's just the end.
But he got them Europe after.
Yes, he got them to Europe.
So they will take it.
Yeah, they will take it. So I think that Tottenham factor was at play. But now that the management sees like, okay, we have potential, we can actually still say that we are one of those teams, one of those big teams. Let's see if we can bring in fresh ideas. And I think one of the things managers are looking or teams are looking at right now is a team, a manager that they can build around. Look at Amorim, look at Maresca. They're looking at someone that they can grow. Project. Yes, long-time project. They don't. Most teams are not really going for
just give me trophy 1 year.
Yes, Mourinho, Conte kind of team, except outside of England. But now they are looking for younger managers that can, take up.
They can flourish with over time.
Yes, over time. So I think it may not be a good call, but we'll see.
Is it going to be one of the top managers that will get sacked next season? Because usually people that start the league don't complete the league. The 20 that start always don't end. Some people will get sacked. Yes,
Maresca did well. Maresca did well in his first season.
And he moved from Leicester.
Yes. Leicester relegated Leicester.
Leicester. So he brought up.
Yes. So he did well. And you see that
Conference League go. Is that doing well?
Yes, he did well. At least he
hustled for Champions League go.
Well, all of those ones. So we can say that he needs to show himself, show why he should be called a top manager.
All right, away from football now. 21-year-old American Coco Gauf won the French Open on Saturday. I was really I wish you could see how happy I was about Coco Gauf. The first American in a decade since Serena Williams in 2015 to win the Roland Garros. Oh my goodness. Now that made her have two Grand Slams. She had a US Open. Now she has a French Open. However, after the entire encounter, the statement of another top tennis player that she defeated, her opponent, was what caused all the brouhaha. Aryna Sabalenka, the Tiger came up to say, well, no, it wasn't like Coco had a fantastic game, but it was she who had a bad game with about, enough errors on the day. And Coco came up and said, well, I'm the champion because I won. Shout out to you and shout out to Igaswiatek and all of that. But hey, it happened that I'm the champion. Regardless of what happened, it showed that I was the better player. Of course, eventually, Aryna posted on her page and said, oh, shout out to the champion. She wasn't trying to attack her and all of that, but the tennis world had already gone against her. But for Coco Gauf, it's a big start for her once again. Entire family, her grandmother, her mother, her father, everybody was in the stadium. She got shout outs from former President Barack Obama and his wife. In fact, the entire American community, you know how they do it in US now. There's this brotherly and very, very, very cozy relationship they always have with each other. It's a good one for her. She has had a fantastic year so far, always crashing either at the semi-finals or losing at the finals in the Rome, the 1000 Masters and all of that have been playing so far. But this time around, she indeed got it. Quick one in about 10 seconds now, Makwa. I know you probably feel Coco Gauf. What are we talking about here? But hey, it's a good one for her. 2 Grand Slams at 21 years, 3 months of age.
That's actually a very, very good feat, and if she continues like that, she would, get more and more trophies, more and more achievements for herself. And she needs to keep her eyes up. She needs to make sure that she's not proud. You know, she retains her ambition and she knows where she's going.
Interestingly, for the first time in a very long time, we're having world number 1, world number 2 up against each other in the finals of a Grand Slam, and another world number 1 and world number 2. That was what happened in the men and women's French Open finals. World number 1, world number 2 in Sinner and Alcaraz. Same thing happened in the female edition. Coco Gauf coming up against Arina Zabalenka, world number 2, world number 1, and I mean, it couldn't have been more brilliant. If you did not see highlights, please, you need to go watch the highlights and enjoy tennis at its very best. Of course, let's talk about the money. About 3.7 million euros for the winner. Whoever comes second, or the second place best player will be getting about 1.5, 1.4 million. So, hey, that's your child that you are calling Project Mbappe. Why not maybe Project Coco Gauf? Thank you very much for being a part of this today's package. It's holidays, but hey, we have to be here, and we are glad you must have monitored and must have followed. A very thank you to you, Marco Albanagu. First time on the show, but you came with a bang. No Lamine Yamal Europa Nations League final performance for you. You give us classic Cristiano Ronaldo stuff.
Thank you.
Big thanks to you guys, the viewers, for being a part of this. Like I always say, we are here because you are there. My name is Shegun, and have a fantastic week out of trouble. God bless you.